Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Broadway Jets YouTube channel. You'll know me from Twitter as NYJ Mike. I'm joined as always by the master of receipts, NYJ Matt. And Matt, today is day 3 of free agency, and the Jets made some good moves. They trade for an old friend in Morgan Moses, who will most likely be the starting right tackle, and they re-signed Thomas Morstead, who had a terrific 2023 season, to be the punter. Let's go, Matt. Come on.
Yeah, baby steps forward after a disappointing and uninspiring day 1 and day 2. You
Yeah.
bring back and now collectively have your best special teams unit maybe you've ever had.
Yeah.
Together again, Morstead and Zerline, and then the Morgan Moses move. Before we jump into it, if you are here, there's a subscribe button here or there. Go ahead and hit it. We're on the way to 1,500. You might not be subscribed and think you are. And if you have a Google account, we'll always make it free. No paid subscription here. But Mike, Morgan Moses, now your right tackle. I didn't think the trade market was going to allow for the Jets to get a starting caliber tackle, and it did. It fell right in their laps with an easy pick swap, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
And now you plug in, hopefully, AVT and Moses. That's your right side, and I'm very confident in that moving forward. But I need a big move. I need one more move that shows you're ready to win now, and that's to figure out left tackle and get a pretty good wide receiver.
Yeah. So, Matt, you said so. Morgan Moses' contract is just one more year for $5.5 million,
Yep.
which is a really good deal for a quality starting tackle. He's an 84 on Madden, so that's what I got.
Important.
But also, yeah, the Ravens' offensive line was supposedly good last year, and now the Jets have 40% of those guys. So you have John Simpson as your left guard, and you have Morgan Moses as your right tackle, and those guys are going to start. And the new details, Matt, on Simpson's contract I saw was 2 years, 12 mil. So I guess there's a bunch of incentives in there.
Yep.
So base, you're paying you acquire 2 starting offensive linemen, and you're paying them $11.5 million combined this year is really good. Now, with that, which we've been saying, where's the splash? Because those are essentially good moves, as long as the guys hold up and play pretty well. You have money now to do something. And again, if you're not going to use that on a left tackle or a wide receiver too, it makes you think maybe you could have brought a guy like Bryce Huff back. So hopefully the Jets do make that splash. But Matt, it opens up like a ton of possibilities now. You could sign a left tackle. You could change your draft strategy.
Yeah, clear path, Mike. I think there's a clear path forward. Give me, would you
2
rather?
free throws and the ball.
Would you rather?
Yeah.
Tyron Smith is your left tackle and the Jets draft a receiver at 10? Or would you rather them get a Keenan Allen type receiver and draft a tackle at 10?
It kind of depends who the tackle is. Like if you said that you trade up a little bit and get Joe Alt. Well, you tweeted out, Matt, now that the Titans signed, so Calvin Ridley signed with the Titans for a monster contract. 4 years, $92 million, 50 guaranteed. Huge money, so it makes you think like what's Mike Williams going to get? But the point is you tweeted out that the Titans are more likely now to take an offensive lineman 7th overall.
Yeah.
Right? So it's interesting. If you said the Jets get Joe Alt, I think I would take Joe Alt and the receiver. If not, I would take Tyron Smith and draft a receiver.
Yeah, and the interesting part about being at 10 is Fuaga is a right tackle, true right tackle. So you start thinking, okay, if you draft him, does Moses move over to the left side, which he's played very, very little of in his career? Do you try to develop Fuaga to a left tackle? Do you take Fatanu or another guy? Or I think the most likely scenario, which is probably a hot take, is I think they're going to try to trade up and mortgage their future to a point of a current 3 and a future 2 to move up 2 or 3 spots. I think they very well could do that to get an Alt or Olu Fashanu, and you have your left tackle. And then you can get Sutton if you want to trade a 4th round pick for him, and you have no draft capital left. You can sign Mike Williams. You can do things now that you have a right tackle in place. But Mike, my preferred path is you get Tyron Smith. You have 2 monsters at tackle, 2 young guys, right, in AVT and Tippmann that you trust, and then a left guard who has a lot of experience now. Once you do that, receiver at 10's open. And maybe even if Olu falls to you at 10, and you're like, we can address receiver and we're confident we only have these 2 tackles for a year combined, maybe you can take tackle. The flexibility is increased. I'm like, I just need a move though. I can't go into this, let's sign MVS and draft a right tackle at
No,
10 now. It just doesn't
it
fit
just doesn't
winning
make
now.
sense. It doesn't make sense. Where
Yeah.
is all the money? And the one contract that I don't like so far is the Kinlaw. They gave him 7 million and what 6.5 guaranteed.
Yeah.
I don't get it. He seems like he's going to play a pretty big role, so hopefully it works out. Right? It looks like Quinn Jefferson's not going to come back now. Al Woods is gone. The Lake Hufotu is probably not going to play a huge role.
What's his Madden rating?
I don't know. I didn't check
Okay.
that defense tackle. I got to check. You're right. So I'm hoping again that there's something more to it. It does also feel, Matt, the person we have not addressed is David Bakhtiari. Where does he fit into all this? It certainly feels like he is a huge option for the Jets at left tackle, whether that's the best option or not.
And like, if you get Bakhtiari at left tackle and you make a move for a Mike Williams as wide receiver too, the Jets have been linked to him. At 10, you can do anything. You could get Brock Bowers. You can do a lot of things if you trust the health of Bakhtiari. So it opens up a lot of doors. When I saw the Morgan Moses news drop, the coming home video is ready to go. And there's no clips of him. Like, usually the coming home videos, I won't give out my secret, but you can get some practice footage of him talking to a beat reporter, like an Ethan Greenberg. And then it cuts from him talking to him at practice, like jogging. None of those. It was like brutal trying to make a coming home video.
Just clip him up, yeah.
So it took me longer than expected. Usually I average like 5.5 minutes to get it out. It was like 12 minutes today.
I had to do I had to remake him being actual Moses and parting the Red Sea.
I'm an idiot because I saw that video and I was like, oh, like a good run blocker part, like making lanes. And I'm literally driving to the food store and I'm like, oh, it's Moses. And it took me like a full hour after you tweeted it to understand what you did. Not my best moment.
Morgan Jesus. Yeah, no, dude, I really like that move, Matt. What, you move back 20 spots in the draft and you get a starting tackle for $5 million. It's really good.
And I'm at the point now where I'm very nervous about the Woody Johnson element of giving restructures and giving cash up front now to make for more room. Because if I'm Douglas and Saleh, I'm like, we understand we fucked up at 2 overall in 2021. We get that, right? And we have not had good drafts outside of 2022. We have missed on a lot of free agents, but we have developed guys. And Woody, what we need now to make the playoffs, and you haven't made the playoffs longer than anybody else in the big 4 sports, what we need is $20 million in cash. Cash flow of $20 million. J&J's market cap is billions. Give us some money, restructure JFM, restructure Mosley, and go get Tyron Smith and go trade for a receiver. Because then at 10, you can do anything your heart desires. Take a receiver, take a tackle, take Brock Bowers. We need money. And if Woody Johnson is the one that's holding up the restructures, malpractice. Can't have it.
No, I agree with you, Matt. And we always defend Woody. But the one thing that's a little bit shady is throughout the years, we've been like, man, a lot of these other teams around the league have been restructuring a lot. Like when the Saints were doing it, and then the Eagles, and we're like,
Chiefs have done it a lot.
And we're like, do the Jets know that they can do this? We used to make that joke.
That was the take. Yeah, it was like, do they understand the rules of restructuring
of the cap? Which is, it's tough because if Woody actually is like, why wouldn't you restructure Mosley? Right? What does he have? 1 year, $21 million left. You kick some money down the road. This is clearly a win now year. I don't know.
I get not doing it if you're a franchise that's always in limbo, but you haven't won in forever. In like literally forever.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the time you just do it. And if it all fails, be a penny pincher team moving forward and change your approach. But you can't just half-ass it after trading for Aaron Rodgers. You have to do it all in. And $50 million, like $20 million cash up front. I'm just making up that number, but if you restructure, it'll probably be like around there. Is that a drop in the bucket for beer sales at MetLife Stadium? Like, come on, like, give me something, Woody. And the reason we defend Woody is because when he came back in 2020, we said we want to get a real GM in here, and he had loosely tied to it, but they got the guy in Joe Douglas that we all wanted.
Yep.
Robert Saleh, the number one guy that we wanted as a head coach, they got him.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers, they got him. So you do those 3 things. You're like, okay, Woody, we're making progress of being a good owner because if I was in your shoes, I would do that. So I can't be critical of you for doing that.
Right.
But now you got to restructure some deals. Enough is enough.
Then to your point about Rodgers, you're going to half-ass it after you get a Hall of Fame quarterback. It's like you start dating a supermodel, then you bring her to McDonald's. Take her to a nice place, and if it doesn't work, then you go somewhere else after, So they have the cash. Johnson & Johnson has money. Come on. I don't know.
I have a concentrated position in Johnson & Johnson stock. So I have I'm banking on them. And every month they have a new lawsuit where they pay like $500 million. It's horrible.
They should stop doing that. Maybe they could get a left tackle.
Yeah, like I want Tyron Smith and Keenan Allen. And
I really want Tyron Smith. Dude, honestly, Keenan Allen's amazing too. I don't know. Keenan Allen is like an underrated guy. The thing now is, so Mike Williams got released today, which I briefly touched on before. After the Ridley contract, what is he going to get? He's a similar guy. He's also 29. The thing is, Mike Williams is coming off an ACL tear. 2,000-yard seasons under his resume. He's a home run threat. He would be a nice fit next to Garrett Wilson.
I'd be stunned if Williams. I could see Williams having like not like a prove it deal, but like a 2-year deal with an opt out of 1 year if he wants to reset his market. And instead of being $22 million a year, it might be $13 million a year. Like I think it'd be that drastically different coming off an ACL injury. And also Calvin Ridley has a year less of gameplay under his belt when he was suspended. So I don't know.
We'll see. The wide receiver market's been crazy. Even last year, like Odell coming off the ACL got $18 million. But to your point, that's only on a 1-year deal. So another free agent who I would be fine with bringing Odell in. I don't know if he's the only solution though. Then you probably have to get another guy and do a little committee kind of thing. But I really feel like Bakhtiari is going to be the guy at left tackle. So I'm just trying to think. I'm focusing. Tyron Smith was always my number one free agent the whole time, who I wanted for the Jets to get this offseason. I don't know if that's going to happen. Feels like Bakhtiari, so kind of focusing on wide receiver a little bit. Man, dude, imagine it's like we just get a notification that Justin Jefferson is getting traded to the Jets.
I know.
I want to take away from Sam, though. Sammy's weapons.
I would take away in a heartbeat.
Of course, who gives a shit? Yeah.
I keep looking down. To see if there's more updates. Nothing material yet. I'm very interested though in the path forward. My other pet peeve, a huge pet peeve, is on Twitter. Jermaine Johnson puts out the smirk emoji. DJ Reed puts out the
chestnut checkers.
And I'm fine with players doing that. Like I don't really care. But my biggest pet peeve until the day I die is when an account pretends to have sources and then they use it to gain a following. Aggregator accounts, be damned, whatever. Jet Twitter accounts that pretend like they have something. And tweeting out like I'm hearing things or eyeball emojis in the middle of a day when the Jets haven't done anything yet. You're probably going to hit on something at some point. And it is the least amount of self-awareness, because I do think their brain, they'll get like a DM from an account that's 3 followers and like, oh, I have info. And they're like, I use that, and they actually believe it. Mike, when I tell you, every time I see one of these goddamn accounts pretend to have sources, I want to die. It is the worst thing on Twitter. And I don't call it out enough because I try to be like above board and friendly and have fun, keep it positive. But God damn it, Mike, it is painful.
Yeah, because there's no consequence of it of nothing happening.
No, it's my source was wrong, and they jumped in with more money. The Titans came at the last minute and got Ridley, but the Jets were in on them. Shut the fuck up.
No one knows anything. Even our beat reporters don't really know much.
Nothing.
So what, just random dudes tweeting it out.
I like Connor Hughes, and Connor was the first one to say that the environment now is different because they have like handshake agreements with Schefter and Rappaport that when a new deal happens, like DJ Bieniemy broke JFM's extension is like the one that stands out to me of anyone breaking something first.
Oh, yeah, who did Connor broke the Laiku photo guy yesterday? Yeah.
Credit to Connor.
Connor's been spot on. He's been spot on this offseason.
He has been. He was on Barkley too. We were texting him. I was like good get. I think he thought I was being sarcastic. of him
Yeah,
like breaking the news, and I was like, oh my bad.
he's been on edge.
I did DM Becton
again.
Did I bring that up yet?
I think the other show.
Yeah, I DM Becton, no response.
It's fucked
He
up.
unfollowed the Jets on Instagram.
Did he?
Yeah.
I mean, look, could bring him back as a swing guy. It does feel. I don't know. I think someone tweeted. Maybe it was Justin Gray. Because it's not
Justin's back. He deactivated for a month.
Yeah, it's just not an original thought. So I'm not going to pretend it is. It was that the Jets get Bakhtiari a swing tackle, or maybe it was Joe Blewett. Bakhtiari a swing tackle, and then try to re-sign like Connor McGovern. That does kind of feel like what they would do. Not in a good or bad way. It just feels like Bakhtiari is probably going to be on the Jets.
Like, do you go into the season with like $30 million in the cap? Like, I don't get.
No,
I just don't.
You cannot. But the Jets spent money. Like, why? The $7 million to Kinlaw is bothering me. He's like the highest paid player they signed. It's insane.
What if you just don't sign him and get like an Al Woods type deal? You have $5 million more.
Yeah,
that you could sign Mike Williams. You can do something.
they're going to do something. But so let's look. So the needs now, Matt. You need a left tackle. You need a wide receiver 2. You need probably 2 more backup offensive linemen and a backup running back and 1 more safety.
Yep.
Right? That's because the defensive tackle is pretty set now. Maybe you get like another edge rusher just to fill in for these guys. So there's going to be guys. You still have what? You still have all your picks and you have a bunch of money. They're in a pretty good spot. This Moses deal really helped, Matt. It really makes me feel a lot better.
It went from like, not trying to exaggerate, it went from like an F free agency period,
like
in my opinion.
Can you get like an F plus?
It was like a D- maybe.
Yeah,
because they did bring back.
Tyrod Taylor was good and Zerline.
Yeah, so like it was like a D, and it made it like a C-. To be fair, current state.
Yeah, but there's a path where you can get up. You can get it up.
Yeah. All right, like I got
extra credit. You just some extra credit. You go hang out with the professor. You got to get out of here. Go eat dinner. Is that what you just said?
I got to eat dinner. We might be back tonight if they make a move. But again, if you made it this far, always if you make it this far, I gotta say it. DM Mike and I on Twitter. If we're not following you, we'll fix that immediately and follow back.
It's true.
We love anybody that joins the show. We're building it a little bit differently, right? We want to have fun. I want to do calls soon, so have people call in. I'd love like
pretty easy.
I'd love like parody accounts, like someone pretending to be like Joe Douglas, and they'll be like, "What's up, Joe?" and then just being like insane. It'll be fun. We have a clear path ahead. I got to figure it out, but I got to bounce, buddy.
All right, homie. Good stuff.
See ya.